Hello, so we are going to be creating a new part. It's going to be this one here. It's kind of complicated looking, but it's really not that bad if you know how to break it up. So that's what we're going to do. And I have not designed it, so this is, I do want to show you how to get through if you make any mistakes, how you can correct yourself, and how you can speed up your abilities. Because I notice a lot of you are kind of taking a long time on making these parts. So we're going to try and speed it up a little bit. So file, new part. Okay. If you look at the part, I keep going to this one, sorry about that. It is in metric, okay? Always change your dimensions on SolidWorks. So if you don't, you can, okay, let me show you. If I were to, I'm gonna put this on the right plane. If I'm gonna make a line and I smart dimension it to be, I want it to be 8 millimeters, right? So I'm gonna put an 8. Well, I'm like, oh, well, I forgot to change it to millimeters, so I'm still in inches. So if I try to do that, I go back into my sketch, it's now 203, right? Because that's how many 8 inches is 203 millimeters. And then, so that can really mess up your drawing. So you don't really want to do that. You always want to make sure you just change it beforehand. Just get into the habit of doing that. I'm going to delete this. So if you look at the part, we're going to kind of break it up in parts. So we have the front, it would be, front plane would be this part here, the side here, the top plane would be this one, and then the right side plane would be here. So what I'm going to do is start in this middle section, and I'm going to start on the right side plane. So I'm going to do a sketch on the right plane, sketch, and I'm going to draw that eye. So if you look, I want to keep the origin right here in the middle. Your origin is going to be really important. We haven't really discussed it yet, but it's going to be pretty important. The next part we do, it will have an established origin, so I'm going to talk a lot more about that. But you always want to be aware of where your origin is. So I'm going to kind of center it. So you can always go outside of this box. It's just telling you where the right plane is. But I'm going to kind of center my eye around the origin. Now, if you look as I lay down the lines, I am keeping these relations. So I'm using my guidelines to go straight down and to go straight across, keeping it collinear. To keep these relations. Now I'm going to go through and smart dimension them. So here it is 10. Sorry. I'm also going to put a picture, I don't know if I did this last time, but a picture of this drawing up, and you can get it printed, or you can come to me and have it printed as well. So it is 10. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to, instead of putting 10, 10, 10, 10, they're 10 all the way around. So what I'm going to do is make this one, sorry, this line and this line. I'm in smart dimension, so it's trying to give me a dimension. I'm trying to build a relation. So leave smart dimension, click on this line, this line, this line, and this line, and just make them equal. Now they're all 10. And so I'm also going to add a relationship between this line and this line. So while we drew them collinear, that relation doesn't actually exist there. So again, click on it, hold down Control. So anytime I build a relationship between two things, you have to hold down Control and make them collinear and make it collinear over here. So click on the line, hold down Control, collinear. And then now we want to put this distance down here, smart dimension, and it's going to be 80. So we see that kind of did something a little bit wonky, but that is okay because we are still working. The next thing we're going to want to do is kind of center it around this origin, get it locked in. So we're going to add a smart dimension between here and the origin. And if you look here, that dimension is 30. And the next one is to keep, we need a dimension in between here. This one here, it's 40. And so we can make this one equal to this one, we're just going to smart dimension them. Or sorry, we're going to build a relation. This one and this one. Okay, and so kind of set there. So now we need to figure out how long this one is, or the kind of the space in between here. So if you look at the drawing, it says from here to the inside is 25. So let's do that. Oh, we have to be on smart dimension. Click, click, 25. And we're just going to go ahead and put this one in as 25 as well. Okay, so it looks like we're almost fully defined, but you still have these blue lines. So let's just kind of figure out where these blue lines, let's get out of smart dimension, see if we can drag them. Oh, look, we can drag them this way. It's because they're not locked in. So going back to here, we can see that they're equal, right? They're equal. So from the center, and this kind of has, we'll use this dimension here, it's 40 from here to here, which is half of 80, which makes sense. So click here, click the origin, we're going to say it's 40, and now we are fully defined. Okay, so usually you would leave a sketch. We're going to change our 2D sketch into a 3D model. You don't necessarily have to leave the sketch to do that. You can just click features and you can hit extrude because we're going to extrude it backwards. You see, so we're going to extrude this line here. Okay, and we're going to extrude it just this distance, which I believe is 50 here. I'm just going to extrude it here. And we want it to go the opposite way because remember we're building on the right plane. So there we go. Okay. All right, so now we have the center part. What I want to do now, before we put any holes in, I want to just do these parts on the top and the bottom, this material here. So we're going to do that by drawing on top of the part here. So we're going to put a sketch right up here. And remember to hit Control-8 to make it so that it is normal to you. Okay, so this is a little bit weird. You kind of have to visualize this a little bit differently. But let's just start off where it's easiest. So if you look at that picture before, so right off the center is a rectangle, and it's going to come straight down the side. I'm not going to lock it in anywhere because I'm not sure exactly where it goes, but I do know it comes off some distance here. And it comes back in some distance to the center. And then comes back out. If I can do this. I'm not clicking whenever I'm getting those dotted lines. I'm just kind of moving my mouse so that I can follow the guide. Okay, that's what we're going to leave it as. So now we're going to put some dimensions on this. Sorry, I am just looking at. Okay, so we're going to add some dimensions. So let's smart dimension this. Sorry. Let's see. So the first thing we're going to put is that from top to bottom. So from here to here, it is 60. And let's make these two, so let's leave smart dimension. Let's click these 2 points, this one and this one. And let's make them vertical to each other. No, that didn't do what I wanted to do. Let me see. We're gonna leave that alone for just a minute. We're just going to dimension the other side just to make sure that everything stays. Typically, you don't want to put in a lot of extra dimensions just because if they tell you, a lot of times they'll give you a part and then they'll say, okay, now change it. And you have to change it and get new information from it. So if you have a lot of extra dimensions, that could mess things up a little bit. But for the purpose of this assignment, we're going to just label them both. And then, so on the sides here, these and this one, we're at 20. So this, sorry about that, the bell rang. So it's 20, and we can make, to get off a smart dimension, and we can actually make these two equal. There you go. And so we're gonna put in some angles. So to put in an angle, an angled, like a angle dimension, sorry, you just click the line, and then you kind of click like the vertical line. Click a line that you want there to be an angle between. So really, we kind of want the angle to be between this one and this one, but any vertical line will do because that's how angles work. So it's at 40, and then 45, sorry, and then over here and over here, it's also at 45. So really starting to lock those in.